Good evening, everyone. This is Gil with Camppatton Family Compound. Got Tammy with Rebel Canners and Mark with Chef Tech here with us this evening. And how is everybody doing out there? Let me switch over to the comments so I can actually see what's going on in the comments and say, oh, got some more people coming in here. So let me go back to the top and say hi to everybody. So we got Shady Hill Homestead came in first, followed by Sue Me, then Chipper 66, Phelan Clan Wolf, Walt Rogers, Mother Earth Garden Club, Geeky Gardens. Oh, I missed saying hi to Geeky Gardens earlier. So, hey, Jack. All right. It's the Marshmallow Man's here, and he put up he's been a member for 11 months. And, of course, Mark's in there commenting, Chef Tech. Diana 2 is on your side.
Oh,
Tammy.
hi.
Prepper for the Ages is here. Kaylin Strain and Diana 2 came in on my side as well. Leah Cold War Prepper is here. Did I say Mother Earth Garden Club? Mother Earth Garden Club. Suzanne Goulet is here on your side, Tammy.
Hi.
Let's see here. Everybody's talking, so it's going to get kind of thing. Fran DeRosier. D-E capital R-O-S-I-E-R is in on your side.
Oh, hello.
Little Lone Prepper is here. And we are caught up. Cool. All right. First off, for those that were wondering what happened on Saturday night when I didn't go live on Gray Man Prepping, I had I had a pack of wild Indians over here. And there was no way for me to go live, so I didn't even try going live. And as it heads up, this coming Saturday, I may or may not be going live because I'm driving to California in the morning. I may or may not be there in time to set up to go live Saturday. Along the same line, not this Thursday, but next Thursday while I'm in California. The midnight ride may kick off 3 hours earlier. So it'll be midnight in jolly old London. So Paul Revere can ride through the streets of London, yell, "The Redcoats are here! The Redcoats are here!" I'm going to be over. I'll still be there. And that Thursday is my birthday. So I'll be going live while my wife is still at work. So we can go out and do whatever she has planned for me for my birthday. So that's what's coming up there. Let's see. So I'm going to leave that there up. Before I jump into, actually, no, let me go through the slides here. I got a couple slides, and then I got something else to bring up for you guys. All right, next one here. Oh, I forgot to do the rest of it. Okay, yeah. So tonight's topic is canning squash, and got some nice pictures of different types of squash just to go over. And then I'm here looking at something like, what in the heck are some of those? Some of those are rather interesting ones, especially that one on the one. You can almost make that into Daffy Duck.
That's a Turk's cap. Turk's cap.
Okay. And then I got
a turban.
Turban, yeah, okay. All these different ones here.
Where's
now
the
ones I'm growing out front. In front was the golden yellow zucchini type of zucchini, golden yellow squash type of zucchini. But the ones I got growing in the back here, I got the butternut growing, and all of a sudden, man, with all the rain we've been getting, I haven't been going out there and turning off the sprinklers. I'm not sure it's going to rain at night. Oh, they're doing fabulous. My daughter was over looking at them, going, "Ooh, food this winter." Yeah, and the ones that have been growing out front kind of look like the three yellow ones here in the middle here. Mm-hmm. So that's there. My mom used to grow a lot of the zucchini here and the patty pan on the left there, the green, not the yellow patty pan, the green patty pan. And I think that's it there. So while I get that out, I got to bring something else up here. I decided to go and Google types of, I Googled, I can bring it up now. I Googled list of summer and winter squash. I want to find out how many varieties there are. And I got, 15 types of squash. I figured, no, wait a minute, that seems kind of low, especially after I found all those pictures. 20 different types of squash. 20 different types of squash. Oh, okay, the Pioneer Woman, good, yeah, okay, that's probably it. 18, 16, 40 different types of squash. Now, whoa, what the heck? And I kept going. 22 types. 50 types was the highest I could find. And I'm going to drop the link to this one here in a second.
You got to start going through seed catalogs. There's probably, what, a couple hundred?
Well, anyways, here's the link to the 50 types of squash. All right. And see if I get rid of that. And so this is Sarah. She does it. And she goes through and she talks about, what types of, what is squash. And she explains what squash is, everything. And first of all, squash is a fruit because it has seeds inside of it, not a vegetable. And then she goes through summer and winter squash, and she starts with banana squash. I gave her chayote. Chayote squash. And she goes through and what the heck? That looks like something from the
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Feed me, Seymour, feed me.
Yes.
But she goes through and she talks about all the different types of squash. So she doesn't just say there's 50. She goes through and talks about each one. It's amazing. All right, let's see. Hang on, we got some more in here. We have Moon Over Miami is here. David Knight came in on your side, Tammy.
Thank you.
And I think that's all the newbies coming in. Welcome, everybody. With the number I see up here, we got a couple lurkers. Lurking is fine. We just ask that you, whichever side you're on, hit the thumbs up and say lurking. That way you check in, and that way the algorithm goes, oh, this person's actually interacting, so we'll give the full watch hours to us.
Yes. Speaking of which, did you hit the share button there, Mad Chick Acres?
No, I didn't. Stop. I was making cheeseburger casserole for the freeze dryer all day. And I'm making other stuff for my wife, which she likes flavored liqueurs. And there's a certain one she can't buy anymore, so I'm making it for her.
Nice.
So, let me see how. Okay, Moon saying that was chayote. Yeah, okay. And it's good for Mexican soups. Yeah, that one says it's grown down in Mexico when I read on it there. So yeah. So there are squash that are country specific. There are squash that are region specific. And there is just I can see why there's a lot of things done with squash. And Myra Page just came in on your side, Tammy.
Hi, Myra.
So my wife makes Spanish pink beans. Of course, we also modify it so I can can it. But she uses Spanish squash, or Spanish pumpkin, which sort of looks like regular pumpkin, but it's like you need a chainsaw to get through this stuff. And I do it. You got to peel it, dice it, and it goes in with the pink beans. But it's hard. But that stuff will literally probably go halfway through the next season without going bad in your pantry.
Yeah. And that's one of the things she said about the difference between summer and winter squash. Winter squash has a thick skin and and it lasts all winter and most of the summer. And my daughter had some butternut over there that when it went from, she harvested in the fall, went through the rest of the fall, winter, summer, spring, fall, into the winter before she finally used up the last one.
There's a pumpkin grown in Florida. Of course, every indigenous people group had their own squash as well. And the Seminole pumpkins are like that. You can actually store them for like 3 years without them going bad.
Yeah.
They are.
I think
They're very small, very high in food value, and they have a very thick shell.
thick skin.
And
Yep.
you can dry them and.
I
we
just thought of
like to
something.
pick zucchini and yellow squash when they're small and tender.
Mhm.
I let a zucchini grow. I lost it. Didn't see it. I don't know how I didn't see it. It probably weighed 9 pounds. It was massive. It was like 28 inches long and about 7 inches in diameter. I put it on top, and I put it in the kitchen. I mean, literally next to the sliding door. It sat there for about 5. I kept every now and then I walk by and touch it. Like, nope, still hard. I'd walk by and touch 6 months. And then I cut into it. I'm like, that was when I got my dehydrator. I'm like, let me dehydrate zucchini. Well, that was pointless. It's all water. So it just disappeared into these little tiny brown specks. I'm like, oh, that was dumb. But okay, I guess, you can't really do anything with zucchini. But yeah, any squash, you let it go long enough. Oh, it'll generate a hard skin, but it's probably not the greatest to eat anymore.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. All right. Dave, what's the percentage? Do you do just a couple drops, a tablespoon, what per gallon of water
per gallon?
Y'all, this is not how we measure this. It's 1 cap per gallon.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have to measure with a cap. You don't have a spoon laying around when you're dealing with bleach. It's 1 cap full.
Well, I don't know. I have some that have a big, massive, lid cap on it.
It's a sinkful or a tub of water and a blip blip of bleach. Yeah, that's it. That's a measure.
Okay.
Well, that's for poison ivy. If you have poison ivy, it's 1 splash in the bathtub.
Actually, it actually works great. I think I told you all this story. I cut a lot of jalapenos and they're long green peppers, but they're spicy. I'm like, yeah, I don't need gloves on. And my hands were literally prunes with juice. And I washed them, and I was out here doing my thing for a couple hours, and I went to bed. And the back of my neck started burning because I sleep with my hand on my neck. And then my face was burning. And I'm like, uh-oh, I went to sleep. And then I woke up at 2 a.m. with something else burning. So I came running downstairs and spent about an hour on the internet trying to find something, and something that I've never heard of. And, yeah, tablespoon of bleach to a half a gallon of warm water. Put it on a rag, soak your hands in it. That pain went away instantly. So I took a bath in bleach water that night because it felt good.
Well,
just don't put it in your eyes.
Speaking of that, I worked construction as a young man with my brother and some other friends and stuff, and we had several jobs up in an area called Orinda in Northern California. You step 2 feet off the highway, and you're in a poison oak jungle.
Mm.
And we had to put water lines and sewer lines through that stuff and everything else. Most of us are doing okay until we had to get down in one ditch that was weird, and there was these black roots sticking out. We're kind of, what the heck are these black roots? They were the poison oak roots. Ooh. And they were dripping sap. And my brother and I, as kids, used to roll around and fight and play in poison oak. We'd never get it. One scratch from that, we now were getting it all the time. And we found out that from one of the old timers there, that one of the best things, and don't go off on this so you hear me finish it.
Oh, wives' tale.
For doing it, we take a gallon jug, fill it little over 3/4 full of water, and the rest of it with bleach.
Yep.
So basically, it was 5 parts water to 1 part bleach. Mm-hmm. And then we pour that in a little bottle that had a little spray, actually a spray, but a squirt spout on it. I had like 3 or 4 little holes on it, so you just squeeze it out. And as soon as we get home, hop in the shower and just all over us with that, and then turn on the shower water.
And you froze.
Cold water, and then wash that off. And then we have a bar of, I always mispronounce it, begins with N, the soap.
Naphtha.
Yeah. And so then we'd scrub down with that, gone. But because the bleach, that concentrate would dry the oils up, and then the soap would take it off the skin. Huh. All right, so there's we already deviated right at the beginning here, folks.
Sorry. Back to what?
Hey.
What did he ever tell us? What he uses for the bleach solution for the squash? But it's not very much.
I'm going back
Nope.
up here trying to find it. I don't see it.
It's only like 6 back.
Yeah.
You didn't post
Yeah, I
it
see
yet.
it there. Yeah.
It's not much. It's just a weak solution, and it will
Yeah.
keep the bacteria from growing on the squash.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So so basically, when it comes to canning squash, with the information we already shared here about winter and summer, if it's a winter squash, depending on the type of winter squash, you may not need to can it to make it last 3 years.
Right.
Some of those you don't need to worry about canning. You just need to keep it in a cool, dark location.
Dry place.
Yeah, I think it's more of a convenience thing then, because then you have your chayote squash, which is hard as a brick, or your butternut squash. Peel it, seed it, dice it up, and throw the chunks in your jar. It cooks it, so when you want it, you just have to heat and mash and add your stuff to it, and you're good to go.
Yes.
You can't really can. I mean, I guess you could try canning mashed squash.
I do yellow squash in slices and can it. It's 30 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure for a pint. A pint is 2 cups. 2 cups is perfect to throw in a casserole. So if it's going bad fast and I've got it coming in, I will can it if I have enough jars. I've also grated zucchini and put it in pints. Same thing, 30 minutes, 10 pounds of pressure, and do grated zucchini. 2 cups is what my recipe calls for zucchini bread. I also take those giant zucchini that you were just talking about, Mark, and I turn them into zapple, which is zucchini apple pie filling.
Oh, there you go.
Mock zucchini apple pie filling. I have a friend who is allergic to apples and can't have apples, but she loves apple pie, and so I make her zapples in place of it, and you just cut them to look like apples. And zucchini, the beauty of zucchini is if you give it enough flavoring of something, it will taste like whatever you want it to, whatever you're trying to make.
Little apple pie, little cinnamon, brown sugar, and nutmeg.
The other thing that is absolutely amazing with old giant zucchini is to make mock pineapple. You have to make sure that you get a updated recipe that has enough acid. When it first came out, they didn't put enough acid in the recipe. So you got to make sure that you have the right proportion of lemon juice. It's an older recipe or a newer recipe, not one of the first ones. But that mock pineapple, you cut it into little wedges and you cannot tell it's not pineapple at all in anything. I use it to bake with.
And you use pineapple juice to can it, right?
Yes. And you use the pineapple juice to can it, and then it tastes like pineapple. You can't tell it's not pineapple.
Cool.
Those are also really good dehydrated.
The quick question here just popped into my mind about something. So you use pineapple juice to can it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you save that pineapple juice to reuse again in canning some more?
No, because you've diluted the juice with the water out of the pineapple. I would not recommend that. No.
Okay. Now here's the next one. I just cooked some pot roast in the crock pot, and I dumped in my quart of beef broth and my diced onions and all the other stuff in there. And when I got it done, I poured off the juice. I go, I got another one due. So I just went ahead, dropped it in, poured the juice back in over the other one, and cooked the other one. Is that okay?
Yes,
that's all beef juice at that point. Yeah, you didn't dilute it anywhere.
Yeah.
No. And then the second one, I just added more garlic, more salt, and more whatever the meat sucked up.
Right. See, the problem with canning pineapple is it is lower in acid. So you need to add a lot of lemon juice to it, or pineapple and lemon juice. That's acidic enough. But you have to make sure that you even with the pineapple juice, it's not by itself. You need to add the lemon juice. And so, yeah.
So
part of it's because it's so high in water.
That's taking zucchini and turning it into mock pineapple.
Mock pineapple or mock apples. Yep, either one.
Cool.
And then
now that's something I didn't know about. And my wife is going to be absolutely very interested in doing mock pineapple and mock apple.
Yes. And then I love the big, people are like, oh, do you want this giant zucchini? I'm like, oh yeah, give me those submarine boat size ones. I love them because I can make all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, you can't do that with the little tender ones because they're too
No.
soft. They just fall apart.
Yeah.
But I slice those extra thick because I want them thicker than what I would normally want them. And then I can those, and then I use those. I can drain them and fry them. They're a little softer, but it gives me a little bit of zucchini in the winter. And I can throw it into any Italian casserole. I'll throw that in. And don't tell my kids. Remember, I said I sneak vegetables in. Those,
baby sauce.
Yeah, well, remember my Prego never tastes like everybody else's Prego? That's because I throw that zucchini in there. The other thing you can do with those great big zucchinis, I know you said that you don't get much after you freeze dry them, but when you dehydrate them, you can ground them into flour and use it in a place of up to 1/3 of the flour in any recipe.
Oh no, when you freeze dry zucchini slices, they really don't shrink much. So that 1/4-inch thick zucchini's chip slice is still a slice, and it's a chip. And my wife wants me to do them. I didn't get around to it this year. I was doing so many other things with it. And a little bit of, if you like them sweet, throw a tiny bit of brown sugar and cinnamon on them, let it soak in, then throw them in a freeze dryer. Then they're like snack chips and they're sweet and they're good for you. Or I just leave them the way they are, maybe a little salt and pepper on them. And then she uses them she'll use them for dipping in like salsa sauce or cheese dip or something.
I read a tip, Mother Earth Garden Club. Burn all your squash vines. As soon as you're done with the plants, burn them because those squash bugs overwinter inside the vines. So
no chop and drop on that.
Burn them to toast.
Get Courtney's flamethrower out there.
Yes. Yeah. There's one more thing I make with zucchini that I did not like. So we've had all the things I like. I did zucchini pickles with my favorite pickle recipes, and I do not like that. Now, I know a lot of people that swear by it. They think they're great. You can use them in place of cucumbers in any of your pickle recipes, and they're supposedly just as good. I found them way too mushy. I like a crisper pickle.
So you like eggplant Parmesan? My wife makes zucchini Parmesan. It's a little softer. Yeah, I don't like eggplant. I've grown it for her and she didn't eat much of it. So I'm like, I'm never growing it again. But I'll give her zucchinis. She'll slice them the long way and like extra thick, like, 3/8 thick, because, there's a lot of water in them. And then she'll dredge them in flour, egg, breadcrumbs and fry them. And she'll make like a zucchini Parmesan out of it. And it tastes better than eggplant parm, and there's no pasta in it. So it's gluten-free, except for the breadcrumbs, unless she uses gluten-free breadcrumbs.
All right, Jeremy has a question here.
Yes and yes, because pumpkin is a squash.
Yeah.
Pumpkin is a squash. So
they don't get a squash, they get in a vine. Yeah.
Yeah, they eat the vines. Yeah.
Now, I've heard the people talk about this a bunch over the last couple of years. And so I always been listening. I've never gone to the trouble of looking it up, and I just did just now. And basically, what it is, some people says you need to pick all your zucchini small because when the zucchini gets big, it becomes toxic.
No, it's tough. Toxic.
No. I found out what it is. Large zucchinis are usually safe to eat, but they can also lose their tender texture and delicate flavor compared to smaller zucchinis. However, zucchinis can become toxic if the plant is water stressed or hibernized. They can develop a poison called, and I can't pronounce it. I'm going to throw it up here. Right there. Cucurbitacin.
Looks like cucurbitacin.
Yeah. So long as you keep your zucchini from getting water stressed, should be fine.
I don't know. I've never met a stressed zucchini in my garden.
I never heard of anybody getting sick and going to the hospital because of zucchini poisoning.
Yeah.
Well, here it is. It's stomach cramps, diarrhea, which they could think is just anything, bitter taste in the mouth,
Bros.
those are the symptoms. Those 4 things are the symptoms.
Yeah. So it sounds like if you eat it, you'll know it's not good.
Yeah, you get the bitter taste. But if you use it in something else, and the
Might
thing
not.
is, it doesn't say here whether cooking kills or breaks down the
Well, if it's a toxin, it doesn't break down or
cucuberage.
die.
Yeah.
It's like botulinum, the botulinum toxin. It doesn't
Yeah.
go away. You can kill it, but the toxins are still there. They what's left of it, and that'll still get you.
Yeah. So, and it says the zucchini flesh is mushy, soft, stringy, or has a brown or dark spots.
Oh, I always cut those out.
Yeah,
Here, if it's the whole zucchini,
And I-
I just throw it out.
yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to save a mushy one anyway. But
Yeah.
you have enough zucchini. You do not have to, salvage a mushy one.
So canning. So we're probably talking 90% of the time we're only going to be canning summer squash.
Winter squash.
No, winter squash. Most people don't can summer squash, only winter squash. I know that's counterintuitive, but that's
Yeah, because the winter squash doesn't need to be canned. It can keep for a couple of years in a cold, dark spot.
Sure, but summer squash just turns to mush. Unless you're doing what Tammy does with it and making shredding zucchini to use it in something else where it's going to turn to mush anyway.
Right.
You can't can zucchini, take it out of the zucchini chunks,
Right.
take it out of the jar and throw it in a bowl and say, "Hey kids, here's a zucchini." It's just going to turn to crap.
So basically, if you're going to be canning summer squash, you're canning the ingredient to use in bread or something something else.
casserole.
The
Yeah.
nutritional value you're going to dump into something that nobody's going to know it's there. Yeah, that.
Okay. So if you got picky eater kids, that's something to do then.
Yes.
Yeah, dice your zucchini up,
And
leave
then
the skins
winter-
on it.
Yeah. And then winter squash, a lot of people do like a butternut soup. And so they're canning it as a soup to have on their shelves, like Mark said, a pre-made meal. So when you're doing canning squash, you're doing it for convenience. I do pumpkin cubes. I used to do pumpkin puree. I've done some pumpkin butter. I probably will do pumpkin butter again. No, that is not approved. But
Well, when you say it's not approved, but it's not disapproved either. They haven't tested it. That's why it's not approved. They haven't done testing.
oh no, they say that it doesn't. They have tested it and they can vary the temperature in the center of the jar varies. I say if that were true, then there would be a company out of business and it wouldn't be on any of our store shelves. And I take what they say with a grain of salt and go,
Oh, they got paid off again.
yeah,
Like Libby's pumpkin.
All right. Lewis has been a member of your channel, Tammy, for 4 months.
Yes, I know. He just renewed. Thank you, Lewis. You're awesome. I love you.
Yeah.
He's been doing some massive canning. I don't know if you guys have went and checked out his channel or not, but he's been doing. And Sumi, yes, that's one I forgot. Thank you. Sumi has also been doing a lot of canning, and yes, you can also, instead of using cucumbers, zucchini makes a really great relish. You can make like a golden relish with those golden
Yellow
summer
zucchini
squash.
or yellow summer
Yeah,
squash.
and they make a
Yeah.
beautiful relish, and it tastes so good.
Would
I'm
that,
not a big relish
would
fan.
you use the small baby ones or wait for it to get bigger?
You want them when they're really hard and small because you don't want it to turn to mush.
Hard
Even
and
relish,
small.
you don't want mush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure on that.
Yeah.
Because I have been a relish kid since I was a 4-year-old.
Mhm.
And my bologna sandwiches have been mayonnaise, relish, bologna, and sometimes a slice of cheese, and then mayonnaise on the other slice of bread.
Ew, it's
But-
Oh, we
tartar
do
sauce.
the-
Tartar sauce and bologna. That's disgusting.
We-
tartar
we're-
sauce.
Go ahead.
Tartar sauce goes on fish, not bologna. Sorry.
Well,
I'm not talking Miracle Whip. I'm talking real mayonnaise.
I don't use Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip is not mayonnaise. It's salad dressing and it's crap. It has its uses, but not in my house. There, you will never find a jar of Miracle Whip in my house ever.
Mine either.
So anyway, we are a ground bologna family up here in the northern redneck nation. And you have to have ground bologna with mayonnaise, not Miracle Whip, and relish. And then there's the fight over whether it's dill relish or sweet relish, but that's for another story.
Yeah. Sometimes if I'm feeling a little adventurous, I'll throw a couple squirts of mayonnaise on the other side, on the other slice of bread that just has mayonnaise only on it. So I'll have the mayonnaise and mustard on the one side and the relish and mayonnaise on the other, and the bologna in the middle, with cheese occasionally. But yeah, my grandkids are all now when they want a sandwich. For most of them, they've gotten away from the peanut butter and jam, and it's bologna sandwich, please. And I pull out the mayonnaise and the bologna. I forget the relish on purpose. No, you forgot the relish. So it'll be interesting if I can get with my wife and if she makes some zucchini relish.
Yes.
That'll be interesting.
And it's really good. There's not a whole lot of difference between the zucchini relish and the cucumber relish. I think it's pretty. Yeah.
Zucchini actually has less moisture than a cucumber does. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't have to wring it out as much to get a good product.
Yeah, cool. Now, of course, talking what we did earlier about pumpkins. Clarification. This is going to break some people's hearts, and most of you out here probably going to go, I know this already. The pumpkin pie mix you buy in the store is not generally, it has very little pumpkin and it's mainly Hubbard.
If any pumpkin.
Pumpkin is a generic term for a large, hard squash.
Yes.
That's
an orange squash.
Yeah, that's
but unfortunately, the most of the pumpkin is actually made out of that you buy in the store as a high percentage of what you would actually call butternut squash, which is very orange on the inside, not always as orange on the outside.
Oh, sorry, you froze on that. You froze on that, Tammy. What type of squash?
Most of the squash you buy under the name pumpkin in the store is butternut.
Butternut?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny,
because I know there was an article out saying that Libby's uses a lot of Hubbard.
Oh, could be.
Which is similar to butternut. They're all really close.
They're kissing cousins.
Growing up, we had 3 squashes in our garden, not always in the same year, but butternut, Hubbard, and acorn.
Yep.
And then we had the zucchini.
Hang on, let me switch around here. All right, since Mark's hiding his face behind the raccoon can see over that. So Caitlin says my paternal grandmother fried it. We cut slits around it so it wouldn't totally curl up.
What, pumpkin slices or zucchini?
Bologna.
Oh, bologna. Yeah, you have to do that to bologna. Or just curl it. You cut 4 slices into it, and it looks like the Maltese Cross and Fire Department.
Okay, I got a way to fix that. My mom, or my grandfather, Rolly Harper, owned a catering company for the motion picture studios. They had these round discs from 4-inch to 12-inch, 1/4-inch steel they would have on the back of the stove as the same heat of the big Wolf stoves. And when they needed to do hamburgers and stuff like that, they'd take one of those on it, put it on to fry on both sides, But it also worked for keeping bologna flat, keeping bacon flat.
Yeah.
They call it a bacon. It's technically a bacon press, but you can use it for whatever you want.
But these were round. They did have another one that was like 12 inches long by 16 inches. They'd lay all the bacon out there and drop that big heavy one on it and do a big batch of bacon. But the little ones for bologna, and you put them right on there, keeps it nice and flat.
You were talking about different squash and what Libby's uses or whoever. When I was a chef, we had sweet potatoes on the menu, and somebody forgot to order enough sweet potatoes. I mean, I was serving 1,000 people daily, and we only had like 2 cases instead of 4. They're like, oh my God, these people love the sweet potatoes, blah, blah, blah. So I went in the walk-in, pulled out 100 pounds of carrots, peeled them up, threw them in a steamer, mixed them all together in the giant 60-quart mixer with a whip, and threw in all the ingredients we threw in. They were like, that was the best sweet potato ever. I had never had the heart to tell these people it was 50% mashed carrots. But
So you went to the Tammy School of Cooking as well. Baby sauce.
hey, you know what? If it looks
sauce.
about the same, tastes about the same, and you're not serving it straight up, it'll work.
Baby sauce. It's baby sauce.
Yeah. Baby. It was baby mashed potato sauce. Yeah.
Yeah, baby sweet potatoes.
All right. Since he brought up sweet potatoes, and I hadn't thought.
You froze.
I froze. I hadn't thought about sweet potatoes doing. Canning sweet potatoes, yams, et cetera, that group of family. Do we want to do a separate live on that or talk about it for the next 10 minutes?
It's basically the same as squash in that respect.
Yeah.
It just grows
More like
underground.
squash. Yeah. Again, you have to clean them very, very well, and peel them if you want to. I don't usually sweet potatoes, but and then you cube them and can them. So
you might be able to mash it and can them, but therein lies the other time problem and temperature in the middle, and so you have mashed sweet potatoes versus diced sweet potatoes. Tammy's yelling at somebody right now.
Quit doing your game. I'm on the internet. Yeah.
Just don't ask Tammy about regular potatoes because we all know where she stands on that.
Yeah, she's got too many right now.
Yeah, we know.
Because here's the interesting thing. I'm going to go back to the one picture.
I'm sending you some.
I'm going to go back to the one picture here. So you got the sliced and cubed yellow zucchini and green zucchini, and then some crookneck in here as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to turn to mush.
Yeah,
Danny?
You're better off putting salt water in that 4% salt water brine mix and fermenting them.
Okay.
They do get really soft, so you want them thicker than what you would ordinarily want them to be, and yes, they will get very, very soft, but they will still be wonderful in that casserole.
Okay.
But yeah,
okay.
you may not
They're laughing in the side. I got to see what's going on in the side chat here. Okay, so I'm going back here. So.
Oh, that's because I said Tammy went on mute because she's yelling at somebody.
No. Lou said I'm glad I ate for that. But then you got fried bologna isn't a Minnesota food. Sue me, Canada. We had fried bologna.
It's a German thing.
Never my house.
Yeah.
Okay. This is when he lived visit Nebraska as a kid. She's not yelling at me. I can't hear that far.
I was closer to you than I usually am. I was all the way in the UP. I have to tell this story on my son for a second. So we were going across the Mackinac Bridge, and he's like, I don't know if I can go. And we're like, why? And he goes, I don't have my passport. So we had to take him to see Canada, so we can know how much farther Canada really was away from the U.S. at that point.
Oh, now people throwing stuff out there. All right, Lee says, "Mirror whipping onions."
Yeah, labor costs. Yeah, Miracle Whip. That's disgusting. Miracle Whip. The labor casing I'd eat.
Yeah. Tomatoes and chunks and zucchini chunks when canning.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's Italian style zucchini. You can eat that because when you cook in the pan, it turns to mush anyway. So you might as well just do it in a jar and heat it up and eat it the same way. Throw your herbs and stuff in there. Just go easy on the oregano and the basil because that's going to get real strong real quick.
And if you throw onions, tomatoes, and zucchini, it makes a great little casserole ready mix.
The only one in my family including my cousins, first cousins, that ever ate liverwurst was my dad. No one else ate it.
I can't eat it. My mom ate it. I can't eat it.
My wife loves it. My mother loved it. Regular liverwurst. Now, growing up where my wife grew up, where she grew up, and German delis, her grandmother and grandfather were both from Germany and Austria. So they had their little German, I forget the name of the deli they went to, but you could buy the Landjaeger, and the longer it hung on the rack, the more expensive it was because it was dried out further, slice it thin. It's a cured dried beef sausage. And then, but I would eat T-wushed, which was not liver. It was pork and beef and stuff mixed together. It was like 80% fat. That I would put a schmear, you got to call it a schmear, on a real thin piece of, it was a dark rye bread, but it came in those little square packages that are like 2 by 2 by 10 inches long.
Sauerbraten?
No, Sauerbraten is a German beef, but
Zwieback.
Oh. Yeah, I forget the name of it. But yeah, little tiny, or the rye or the pumpernickel, and the little tiny, they're super thin, they're like 1/8 inch thick. No, you put a schmear on that, and oh yeah, I would eat that all night long. Of course, with that much fat going into your stomach, it's got to come out sometime, and it usually comes out when you don't want it. So, a lot of fat, a little bit of German mustard on there, you're good. Yeah, I don't do liver.
Yeah. The liver my mom had when I was a little kid was desiccated, and yeah, it was just nasty.
Yeah, Geeky Gardens, that backfired on me. We had a rule at our house that you didn't say yuck, or you had to eat what was left in the pan. And so I made myself and my significant other, we made liver, but I didn't buy enough for the kids because I knew they weren't going to eat it. It's not something that they had ever had really before. So I didn't make them that. I made them hamburgers. And my daughter saw mine and she goes, yuck. And I'm like, okay, you get to eat it. And then she ate his too. And I had to go find something else for us for dinner.
My mom tried to serve us.
So she actually liked it, or
she loved it. She still loves it.
Surprise! You must cook it really good.
I don't make it
dredge
very
it in
often.
flour, fry it in a pan, throw some bacon and onions on there. You can make anything taste good like that.
The problem is my mom would salt the pan, throw the liver in there, salt on top of the liver, and that was all the seasoning it got.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No. And it has to be rinsed really well. You should if you want to make it the traditional way, you need to soak it in milk overnight to take out the tangy liver taste.
Yeah, and you can't get rid of that texture. That's what I don't like, the texture.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. As a chef, I was getting whole beef livers in whole, and had to peel them.
Well, there's your problem.
And cook them. My customers love the liver, bacon, and onions when I did it. The ones that liked it, I'd cook it all day long. Don't try to stick that stuff in my mouth because that ain't happening.
So you cooked it by smell.
Yeah, well, I knew the liver was good because of my vendor. I knew I rinsed it well. Of course, when you freak out the rest of the kitchen and you take the whole beef liver or calf's liver where the vein hooks up to it, which is about a 3/4 of an inch in diameter, and you put it right up against the sink faucet and turn the cold water on, and you wind up with a liver sprinkler. That's always fun and disgusting at the same time. I had to flush the veins out,
I've done that.
Nasty, creepy, funny, whatever you want to call it. Certain things you just never forget. And that was probably 35 years ago I did that.
Yeah. My wife, her mom cooked it the same way as my mom did. She doesn't like liver either. So, yeah. I think Lee is speaking German there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how my wife makes her spätzle. She makes her homemade spätzle. She comes out, she throws it in a baking dish. It gets, I forget the name of the cheese she uses. It's really good. But she puts cheese in there and some diced onions that were browned in a pan, mixes it all up. A little more cheese on top, throws it in the oven. That goes with your pot roast and all your other stuff and your pickled red cabbage and really good stuff. She has some really good German recipes from Grandma. We have a German cookbook. She can't read it because it's in German, but it was Grandma's, and we'll never get rid of it.
I do not like I like a little bit of liver, but I don't like liverwurst or But I absolutely love pâté foie gras. Leave Germany and head to France, and
Goose liver pâté.
Yeah, well, it doesn't even be goose liver, but yeah, you spread that on some French bread, and oh no, I'm just on the wrong side of the German border. I guess I'm more French ancestry.
That and salty fish eggs, you can keep that too.
Yeah. I was up in the UP and there was fish eggs all over the beach up there.
Oh, no doubt.
All over.
Yeah, you don't want to pick them up off the beach and eat them that way.
No.
Probably want to open the fish up and take the roe out, and while the fish is still alive.
Yeah,
really
I'm not doing. It was catch and release. We weren't doing that either.
Yeah,
we were too far north to take them home. So.
Yeah. All right. Just a little notation here in about 15 minutes, 12 minutes, 14 minutes or so. See if it goes up there on the content. There it goes.
There it is.
Cold War preppers go. The topic tonight for Cold War prepper is planning for SHTF, personal items, and chemical / nuke. And then there's the link for it too. So he starts at the top of the hour here, depending on how your clock is set. That's why I gave that time spread, because I see, some people are earlier than other people on their clock and stuff. So,
yes,
I believe that's called sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Well, no, not when you can it. See, here's the thing: sauerkraut you keep.
It's fermented.
The fermented has some good probiotics.
Right.
When you can it, all becomes pickled cabbage with vinegar. Yeah. So there is a way to can cabbage with vinegar and have pickled. It's basically pickled.
It does. It sort of tastes the same as sauerkraut, but not really.
It does sort of, but it doesn't have the probiotics. Right. I've also canned plain cabbage with just salt and water and can it. And I use that for soups, but it gets very cabbage-like. Remember, cabbage.
You can buy canned sauerkraut in the store. You can also buy it in the refrigerator section. That's I won't call it the good stuff, but it's the better stuff that's in the bags in the refrigerator section. That's still supposedly pickled, regular sauerkraut.
I do have a recipe in my files, a video on doing it's a very special pickle red cabbage that is Swedish. And I can't think of the name of it, but it was so good. And it actually has like red currants in it, as well as the cabbage and the pickle and the vinegar. And it's a traditional Christmas dish. And I did a video on that.
All right. And we really covered a lot of topics here, all related to squash.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the way sometimes it goes best is, you get a question and we just go and cover that information too. I think a lot of people out here like it. Coming up. All right. Is the farmer's market still going on for you, Tammy?
It is.
Okay.
It is. We only don't worry. It closes soon.
Yeah. I think ours here closes the 15th, or around the 15th of October. So when they finally shut it down here, unless we get snow beforehand.
Yeah, I don't think we go that long, but
mine goes through August. I'm sorry, not August. October.
Yeah. All right. Coming up here on my side for my other channel, Gray Man Prepping, tomorrow night. 8 o'clock Eastern. The topic is mosquitoes and other pests in disasters. SHTF, Kawaki, and whatever. So we talking about that tomorrow night. Thursday is the midnight ride. This week it is 10 o'clock Eastern. Next week it's going to be earlier in the day, and I will make announcements earlier in the week what time I've settled on when I've talked to the wife when I'm in California. Because that Thursday is the 26th. Is my birthday. On this Friday coming up, if I can get my okay, there it is. Wives' tales and weather predictions. Oh, we got woolly caterpillars. The red part is smaller, the black part of it's bigger. So we're going to have this type of a winter. Oh,
They're called
woolly. All the opposite. So yeah,
they're called woolly bears, not woolly caterpillars. They're
Depends where
woolly
you're from.
bears in Maryland. I don't care. They're woolly bears.
They're woolly bears.
Well,
And
They're
then
all black.
you saw
It's
my
gonna be
acorn
brutal.
that was like the size of and they're falling off the roof, sound like they're being bombed. They're huge.
yeah.
That's not a
Acorns.
That's not a good sign for winter, just so you know.
So we're going to be talking about all the quote wives' tales, or if you want to call it ancestral forecasting, and weather predictions and stuff. This Saturday, may or may not go live because I am driving to California. If I get there early enough without much traffic problems and stuff, then I'll go live. And then the topic's going to be Prepper's Hidden Garden. Talk about ways of doing hidden gardens around, both on your property and elsewhere. Froze for whatever you need in a garden. And next Monday, we're going to be talking about canning frozen foods.
Okay.
She did a short on it, and that's what triggered me. Okay, we're going to talk about all the different things that you can buy super cheap as frozen food and can it so it lasts longer.
Yep.
So that's what we're going to be talking about next Monday. I'm checking the side chat here. Oh, thank you, Sumi. All righty, folks. So we're going to go ahead. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap it up?
I gotta make. Do you have a good shrimp, Manhattan shrimp chowder recipe I can can? Like
I'm
shrimp
allergic.
chowder, no cream. I want to do it tomato. My wife doesn't like the cream stuff. I still got about 9 pounds of 2124s that I like, 3 or 4 bags that I just cooked 2 off just to cook them. So we have shrimp cocktail and put them in a chamber sealer and did mini bags of that. I gotta do something with the rest of the shrimp, or it's just gonna freezer burn really bad.
I have 2 problems with not being able to give you a recipe. Number
you
one,
don't eat shrimp.
I can't eat shrimp anymore.
Okay.
And number 2, shrimp turns to rubber in the canner.
Yeah, it's the other. So do clams, but
if you're gonna cut it up or shred it and then put it in your chowder, it would be all right.
Yeah. I'll have to look into
Okay,
that. But I didn't think that was a thing.
Freeze dries a lot of stuff. Can you make your chowder and then freeze dry it?
Sure.
And that way, then you have your shrimp stuff. You get chowder. You just instant.
You had the shrimp last, so it's just in there, diced up, and cool it down, freeze dry it, and figure out how much water you need, and you got shrimp chowder, clam chowder. Well, clams are tougher to rehydrate. Shrimp rehydrate a little easier, but.
Yeah.
There's a thought.
I have had freeze-dried shrimp. They are really good. Have you done just freeze-dried shrimp?
I freeze-dried shrimp. I freeze-dried the cocktail sauce, and I just fill it up with cold water, let them sit for a little while.
No, in Japan.
You could. Oh, I know the little baby freeze-dried shrimp. You can use it and stuff. No, I freeze-dry whole shrimp.
Yeah.
And then I rehydrate them, and I rehydrate the cocktail sauce, and you wouldn't know that I did it 2 years ago.
Oh wow! No, I've eaten them like they call them prawns, but that's just another name for shrimp, really. Where they have been freeze dried, just like potato chips.
Oh, the shrimp chip.
Yeah, back when I could have them, I ate them like they were potato chips. They were.
Yeah, we used to do those. We used to get
That's why you can't have them anymore. You ate too many of those chips.
Yeah, we used to, you take those, you take the hard chips, you throw them in a deep fryer, and they puff up, and they're like puffy Cheetos that taste like shrimp.
Yeah, they look like Cheetos.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
Now
No, I'm not making that.
Now you're making me hungry for shrimp that I can't have.
Okay.
Sorry. All right, everyone. So that's what's coming up here. I want to thank everybody in the side chat for all their comments and comical and serious. There's some really good comments in there. You guys missed out on. Everyone should have caught up on the side chat. It's some really good stuff in there. Thank you, Mark and Tammy. And hopefully I'll see everybody tomorrow over on Gray Man Prepping. All right. So everyone, take care, and we will see you around in the kitchen.
Have a good night.